Chatham Extension Rebellion in Wrexham. What first steps will you take to improve bus and train services and to promote public transport in North East Wales?
Okay, so this is the question. So we're going to start with Richard Marbrow from the Liberal Democrats.
It's the mystery question. For those that don't know the format, we knew the first three. This is the first mystery one. Well, don't forget, of course, that the £1 bus fare for young people was in fact the price of a Liberal Democrat vote before the budget not so long ago. So that is a Liberal Democrat policy successfully in. So that's one thing we've done. Second thing I do is probably fix the roads. Because I know what it's doing to my tyres, I know what it's doing to lots of other people's. I dread to think what it's doing to public transport. Now it's interesting, I actually live in Marbrow, which of course doesn't have a train station anymore. And so it's interesting that buses are a huge thing that's desperately needed. And what I do is I look across the border, I look to Manchester, and I look to see what Andy Burnham's managed to do there with being able to re-regulate the buses. And I think what we need to do is to make sure that the public sector is actually exercising some level of control over buses in order to link people to jobs. You'll notice this is a bit of a theme for me tonight, because I think this is the way to push Wales forward. So one of the things that I do is seek some level of better regulation, better promotion of bus services, because I think that's an absolutely vital thing. And the other thing is, of course, we are kind of owed £4 billion for our rail services in this country. The Conservative government ripped us off, and the Labour government decided to allow the rip-off to continue, which I find somewhat annoying, because I've driven occasionally past the route of High Speed 2, and it doesn't look very Welsh to me. And so one of the things is actually trying to get that money back, because that is genuinely money that we're owed. That isn't money that we're asking for as an extra. That's money that we didn't get, that we should have got. And so that's one of the other things that I'd seek to find consensus on in the Senate, and I feel like there will probably be a majority for getting that £4 billion back.
Richard, and a question to Marc Jones, apply for meetings.
I'm a member of a very elite club, the Bus Pass Club, and I, as some of you are as well, and I use the bus twice a week to go to my place of work in Ruthin. So I have direct experience, unlike a lot of politicians, of how the bus service works around here, and it's not very good, frankly. The T51, which I get on a regular basis, got rebranded from the X51. Didn't improve the service, it just got rebranded. And I think that's symptomatic of a problem we have got locally. We have an appalling public transport system. It's not integrated at all. If you try and catch a train from one part of Shotton to the other part of Shotton, you've got to walk an enormous distance. It's, there are so many disconnects, and a public transport system should have connections, and we need to improve that. Richard's touched on something I was going to touch on, but I'm going to make it, I think I'm going to make it as forcefully as I can. We've been ripped off. If you want a great Welsh train robbery, you look at the idea that not just HS2, not just the Northern Powerhouse rail network across Northern England, but the Oxford to Cambridge line are designated as England and Wales lines. If we had that funding, our share of the funding, like Scotland and Northern Ireland do, we would be £4 to £5 billion better off. You just imagine what that could do to connectivity locally. We need to make sure that Deeside and Wrexham specifically are better connected, whether it's trains, buses, so that we do have.
I haven't had a chance.
We might beat you.
We are. We're quicker. We're organised.
Yes. So, yeah, this is kind of one of our headline things, transport. We would bring in a free fare for under 22s, and then a universal £1 bus fare for those between 22 and 60. Absolutely. I think we need electric buses as well. I'm aware that Flintshire County Council, for example, had some buses that were stabled and were not used as part of Senedd funding, which was quite ridiculous. I think we also need integrated, as Marcus said there, I think we need integrated transport systems. I use Buckley Station quite a bit, a friend there, we come to Wrexham. It's very, very quiet. It's out of the way, so it's outside of the town, but why isn't there an integrated bus service that goes from the train station into Buckley to Monadissa to Mold to ensure that ridership is increased? And also, we're in North East Wales, we're heavily connected to North West England. Of course we are, everything seems to point towards Chester and Liverpool and Manchester. We need to ensure that we get a direct connection of the Merseyrail network down to Wrexham. So it's something that's been promised, but we need to ensure that money is actually apportioned. It's entirely possible, so with battery systems.
30 seconds.
And then you'd have a rechargeable train at Wrexham. So that's it, thank you.
Diolch yn fawr, thank you, Lee. And if you're with now to Kristina Renshaw from Heritage Party.
Thank you. So before my daughter lent me her car, well, she actually loans it to me to look after her child, my grandson. I've had to obviously go on public transport for many years to go and babysit my grandson, who lives towards Manchester near Warrington. And the disconnection between transports is horrific. I would have to get the train about 6 o'clock in the morning and wait at Shotton about 40-50 minutes on my own in a dark station, nobody there, especially during winter time. That is just horrific. So links need to be sorted out, transport links. And also, I used to live on Hawking Mountain, and if I had to get the train in Flint and I didn't have a car, I would have to get 2 buses. I'd have to go to Holywell and then wait for the bus in Holywell to then go to Flint. And that whole journey could probably take you about an hour, but it's actually just 10 minutes down the road. So I would like to see better connections. And I can understand, public transport will say, well, there's not enough people using public transport, but if it was more readily available, not just every hour, and more connected, I'm sure a lot more people would use it.
Diolch yn fawr, thank you. And the last but by no means least on this question, we're going to Corin Jarvis from the Labour Party, please.
Thank you. Yeah, some comments about HS2. I understand that consequential is promised, and I'm pretty sure that elected members under the Welsh Labour will be down their necks for that money, because we all feel the same about it. It's not in Wales, So yeah, Welsh Labour, obviously we've got the £2 cap on adult fares that we would introduce, and we would be looking to roll out 100 new bus routes. So we know that we've lost lots of rural bus routes that weren't profitable to the bus companies, and we need them back because they're vital. They connect people to work, they connect people to family, they connect people where they need to go. And having a bus service that stops at 6 p.m. or a bus that runs twice a week is not enough for people. They need to be able to get connected, get to work, etc. So they're consulting on the 100 new bus routes to bring them back where they're needed. We continue the £1 bus fare for under 25s, and obviously we've still got the free bus for the over 60s, as mentioned. We would renew and replace ageing bus stops, ageing buses, stations, shelters, improving the services and safety for the passengers, and introducing new minimum standards for bus drivers' terms and conditions, because bus drivers are vital
30 seconds.
in in the services. New rail stations, upgrading the rail lines and improving the services as part of a 14 billion plan in partnership with the UK Labour Government, and will continue to develop Network North Wales, make transport accessible for everyone by implementing the Travel for All policy and Disabled People's Rights Plan, trying to fit that one in, and new lifelong blue badge for people with lifelong conditions and more.
Thank you.